Good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. It's me. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch on this Friday morning. Where's everybody? Oh, there you come. Wow. Must be a holiday. Everybody slept in. Good to see you all, and as usual, festive. Drink it if you got it. Wow. And here I thought I would start off, because it's a holiday, with 100 people. Bam, right off the bat. Wow. I can't remember the last time. Maybe YouTube's not telling me that you're watching. I'm up to 40. Wow, I'm usually up to 80 by now. So maybe everybody's busy for the holiday. We'll stop. You couldn't tell that by the chat this morning. Holy cow. Tremendous amount of pre-show chat. I hope I can get through it all. Well, anyway, happy 4th of July, everybody. I'm sure more people will come in. I slept in this morning. I got out of bed about 6:45, so didn't have time to watch Kills. I'm sure many of you did, but he had a good show. But Laurie says that music sounds even better with earbuds. Yeah, the quality of the music is right up to par. Digital, and you listen to it through a big stereo system, it blow you away. YouTube does a nice job of transmitting the music at a very high quality on YouTube videos. So, Laurie says, nice background. And speaking of that, I'm going to give you two choices. Pay attention. And this is the test. Do you like the first one or the second one? First one or the second one? One more time, we go back to first one or the second one. There you go. Tell me that didn't sound like every optometrist on the planet Earth. Which looks better, the first one or the second one? Or the first one or the second one? Wait a minute. Go back to the first one again. No, try the second. No, first one. And it reminded me of that when I was switching back and forth a little earlier, saying which do I want to use today? Which do I like better? Okay, here we go. Answers are coming in. Second one. The first one looks like typical peaceful portrait. Second. Terry Sue likes both. I like the fireworks, says Aaron. Flag, 2. So far, 2's winning. Mama Bear, I like the second one because fireworks scare my dogs. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. So, Marla Keller just chimed in, said, good morning, all celebrating my 55th birthday today with lots of family and lots of meat. The blue is complimentary to me, Mitch. Yeah, I think I like the flag better, but I wanted to get a little fireworks, and but that's the image that I found. I love it too. It's a great shot that I found, and I used it on the thumbnail, in case you didn't notice it this morning. So that was my little homage to Lizzie said New Year's is fireworks, and found the fireworks emoji. Okay, I think the flags have it. Maybe just as a thank you to everybody, and for those of you who like the fireworks better, sometime during this stream, maybe if I remember, I can switch back. But I think the flag is very much more patriotic and less confusing, while your eye tries to figure out what in the hell should I focus on in this picture. Too busy. So good to see you. Good to see you. Got a few things to talk about. I'm not going to read every entry in that pre-chat because it was crazy amount of talking before 8:30. So we'll go back and acknowledge everybody that chimed in there real quick and get on with it. If you have questions for me, Q, and as usual, and I'll try to pick them out of all this. Try to pick them out. I do have some notes today, so you pardon my hat brim when I look down. Easier that I hold the phone up like this and look at it this way, which I suppose I could do, maybe off camera, but then I'd be doing this. Can't win. You need help. You try to be a broadcaster, you need help. It's tough. First order of business today. A big thanks and shout out to Curry Man, Homestead How. Many of you, probably not most of you, know what I'm talking about already, but Curry made a video yesterday. And basically, it was kind of a watch this, don't watch that video. And he went on and in 10 minutes, made 12 recommendations to people of which carnivore YouTube channels they should watch. And he left out all the doctors because this wasn't for the big guys. This is for the rest of us who aren't doctors. Like Curry is not a doctor. And quite frankly, I think that some of us non-doctors know a hell of a lot more than some of the doctors that come on and claim to be experts. Fortunately, the doctors that we all know are very competent and knowledgeable, and they do get it. But seems like half the doctors want to be a YouTuber as well. So I didn't see it. I didn't even get it in my feed because I wasn't watching YouTube. I was busy. Trying to relax, but making a video. I get an email from Jerry Voitush with a link in it, and it said, which YouTube channels to watch. And at first glance, I thought Jerry was sending me his recommendations, but I trust Jerry implicitly. Sometimes I'm a little hesitant to click on some of the links people send me. God knows what would happen, but I certainly trust Jerry. So I clicked on it, and there's Curry Man on a video. And on the thumbnail is one of these, do this, not that. And one of them's got the big green check, and the other's got the big red X. Well, there was a picture of my face with the big green check, and then somebody else with the big red X. I started watching it. He explained what he was doing. And he also said a disclaimer that I'm not doing this in the order of who I like best to make everybody feel good, I bet. But who the hell was first? Me. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And he spent about a minute, talked about my channel and me, and then went on to the next one. It was great. And I put a comment in there. I thanked him profusely and probably send him a text today and also thank you. But it was very nice of him. It's not like he went out of his way to lie for me. Everything he said, I think, was true. He just gets it. And I think I picked up about 400 or 500 subscribers just from that video yesterday. Wow. What a surprise. Peter, short while after Jerry emailed me, also emailed me the link to that. And thank you, Peter. We had a live stream last night, which was just great and a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We had a nice panel. We had Peter and Tuka and CB chimed in. And who else do we have? Louis Latito chimed in, and there were 4 of them and 1 of me. So we had a very nice time. It just kept going on and on. It got to almost an hour and a half, and I had work I had to do, so we ended it, and it looked like from the volume of the chat that it was very well attended. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. And here I am again this morning. Okay, what else I got on my list? Something that just pisses me off every time I see it, and I thought I'd mention it here this morning, not to be a downer, because it's not a downer, it's just I'm sick and tired of people referring to their ground beef as grass-fed. You know what I mean by that? Sam's. They got this ground beef, they got like the Wagyu ground beef, and then they got the grass-fed ground beef. When you buy grass-fed ground beef, what do you think you're getting? You think that grass-fed cow isn't finished on grain? If you don't see the words grass-fed or and grass-finished, or just grass-finished, it's a scam. Because they know that most people don't know. Certainly every musician on the planet knows, a guitar player knows, all cows eat grass. That's how you know the letters of the different strings on a guitar. All cows eat grass. A-C-E-G. And that's true. Every cow, whether they're grain finished or grass finished, is raised eating grass. They don't start giving the cows the grain until they finish them a few months before they're slaughtered. And that fattens them up. But they need to be raised on grass. The quality of the grass, or the field they're grazing, or how they feed them, is up for debate. But anybody that just says grass-fed beef basically is saying all beef. Good beef, bad beef, any beef, shitty beef, cheap beef, it's all grass-fed. So every time I see that, and you see a lot of it, it's just another one of these labeling scams that we all have to really be conscious of and live and remember. Finished. That's the key. And I particularly like grain-finished beef better. May not be as healthy as grass-finished. In some respects, it may be healthier. Because the grain-finished, we constantly try to get more fat in our diet. And that's how you get your meat to have more fat in it. Feed it carbohydrates, just like humans. And you don't find, usually in grass-finished beef, the level of juiciness and marbling that you find in grain-finished beef, unless they leave the cow to get much older. It kind of accelerates the normal process of going to fat. And an example of that is all of our fat kids these days. Usually it took humans to be 70 or 80 before they got fat. Now they get fat at 12 or 5. So can't feed them grain, stop falling for that. It's like the pasture-raised, vegetarian-fed eggs. It never ceases to amaze me, the scams out there. One other thing, and then we'll get on with it. A little observation of the day. I saw a clip on YouTube from Fox News Channel yesterday afternoon. I talked about it last night. I'm gonna try to dispatch it quickly. The headline in the news article was MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, going viral among the younger generation. I said, wow, viral, no kidding. And they go to the typical Fox News babes with the legs. You know, they're all sitting there with their legs crossed. They're all gorgeous women. I know not many men are looking at their see how big their brains are, but that's Fox. It's a Fox thing. Fox is all about the legs. So we have these two info babes there that after I listened to them talk for a few seconds, I didn't think they were too bright. They were not news people. They were simply news readers, is what they were. And they were excited. They were excited and optimistic, and they were talking about the fact that this Make America Healthy thing is really catching on. It's really catching on, and the kids today are actually talking about it on social media and excited because they know that the things that are happening from the government are going to change the world and that their generation is going to be healthier. And what were they talking about? This is the thing where I just dropped my jaw. The big thing that everybody's noticing and is going viral is that Hershey's Chocolate Company and a few other companies that make candy have pledged, I solemnly swear, have pledged to the world that by 2027 they will have removed the petroleum-based food dyes from their candy. So let me get this straight. We got to wait 2 more years for it. When we finally get it, we're still going to get the same friggin' candy with the same amount of sugar and everything else in it, and you've made it 0.1% less bad for us by removing the dyes. And that is your idea of what's going to save the world. And I sat there just dumbfounded. I said, when is anybody going to get the real message that is the plants and the sugars that are killing us? It's not red dye number 5. That's not what's killing us. But they were talking about it from a cancer standpoint, as if removing these dyes from food is going to make a huge blow against cancer. I got news for you. That's not our problem. Our problem. And they're giving you something to be excited about and vote for without actually having to make any change that might be controversial, because there is not. I don't care who you are. You're not going to find 10 people that you can get together, hand them signs, and say, don't screw with our red dye number 5. So you can be a hero and offend absolutely nobody with nonsense like that, and that's what they're doing. And then they come on the news to just tell you, you need to be excited about this. Now, is it going to stop there? Are Americans going to say, wow, they fixed the problem? Are they selling us the idea that that's where the problem is? Because I hear her mention seed oils, but I don't hear it a lot. I never hear her mention the sugar is the problem. They mentioned processed foods, but nobody said to ban pasta and bread. And that's where the problem is, from all those foods. That's why we're in a pickle. So I guarantee you, the medical community is happy, the drug companies are happy. Hershey's is tickled to death. Their sugar M&Ms with the bright colors might be not quite as bright, but that's it's about the only concession I think they're ever going to make to making America healthy. And so far, I'm not convinced. You haven't sold me on what you're doing yet. You have too much opposition, too much money against you, too much potential damage in lawsuits, and you're not going to rock the boat. And the boat is sinking all by itself. But you figure we've all got long enough where let some future generation deal with the extinction of our species. We don't need to worry about that now or cost us any money. That's very sad and disgusting. Again, it's turning into a sleight of hand, I think, and I'm disappointed. I may be wrong, though, but I doubt it. I like that. That's become my tagline. That's it. That's enough pontificating for me this morning. It's a holiday. I am happy, though, but don't get taken in by this crap. I mean, I got to tell you, I get disappointed. I haven't heard much, and I'm really happy about it. I never had the first concern about red food dyes because I got news for you. If I follow the carnivore diet, I don't come within 100 miles of a petroleum-based red food dye. Why would I worry about it? If I was eating Skittles and M&Ms and things like that and drinking those god-awful cherry red energy drinks and electrolyte drinks like Gatorade, which is all sugar, yeah, I might worry about the dyes, but we don't do that. We do the right thing. We eat real food. If it's red, it's because it comes that way. Because blood is red. And blood is red without red dye in it. Guaranteed. Well, let me get rid of the banner. And let's start. Let me get back to the beginning here and let me say hello to some people and throw some questions. I saw a question in there early. Tuka was here. Tuka was early last night. Mary M. Smoothie. How you doing, Smoothie? Sandy Blythe. Happy Independence Day. Something you don't hear too many people. I haven't even heard the word Independence Day being used. It's on 4th of July weekend. 4th of July weekend. That's like Juneteenth. It's a holiday, federal holiday. What's it for? People are forgetting. Rick was here. How you doing? Let me give an homage to Rick and there you go. All right, we're talking a lot about quacking. We got to have an actual quack in there. Tuka from last night said, I asked Tuka, do you have something equivalent to Independence Day in Finland? And he forgot to, he says, I forgot to ask me. If we have something equivalent, yeah. Regarding 4th of July, not in summer, no, we only celebrate Midsummer's Eve. Okay, thank you, Tuka. And we have Mandy Bedeau says, Mitch X, I guess that X is a kiss, I would hope. I'll take it like that. Papa Carnivore is looking forward to today, and for Grandma Wendy was here last night. Kitchen Witch at 10:55, Lady June in the middle of the night, but early morning in the UK. Sharon McCabe, 12:47. Jam at 1 a.m., which is 10 o'clock where she lives. Empire's Adventures, good morning. Everybody drink it if you got it. Yes, sir. And, holy cow, first insomniac of the evening was Rick at 3:58. Mike Seeley chimed in at 4:09. Mike, it's a holiday. Stay in bed. And then we get to the same people. Wayne Herman 624, and me, Cool Cat. The question, good morning, Mitch. I have mostly carnivore meals, but fruits are my downfall. Is it the fructose that is keeping me addicted? Please advise. I don't think so. I think you're a carb addict. I think all carbs. I think you're addicted to all carbs. Fructose is a carb. It's a sugar. But all complex carbs like grains, breads, beans, they all break down to simple sugars. So you're a carb addict. No, I don't believe I've ever heard of anybody only being addicted to fructose and not all the rest of that stuff. So I wouldn't worry about it. And unfortunately for you, if you had to pick the absolutely unhealthiest and worst carbohydrate for the human body to eat, it's going to be fruit. Fructose has a purpose in nature, and that purpose was to fatten up the animal to survive the winter or harsh times. Fatten up the animal even more than glucose and the other sugars do. It's not used for energy. It's only used for fat. It doesn't raise your blood sugar because it doesn't go that pathway. It goes straight to the liver, turns straight into fat, sent straight to the fat cells or the liver. And in the liver, it forms little droplets. When you eat too much fruit and you make too much fat, and you get fatty liver disease, which is like cirrhosis on the way. So no, I wouldn't recommend. Yes, the answer is you're addicted to fruit, but you're probably addicted to everything. I hope I'd answered that for you. That's what I think. My theory, some of it maybe, but that's what I think. Terry Sue, 7 o'clock this morning. Tanya chimed in. How you doing, Rick? Chimed and chimed and chimed and chimed and kept chiming, and hence earned the number one in the chat, with Peter following close second, it appears. Prolific is my word of choice to describe that. And we have Karen Travis. Good morning. Good morning. 8 o'clock. Happy 4th, she says. Mike Silly Sr. is here from Melbourne. Sandy Blythe, good morning. Everybody's wishing everybody happy everything. Terry Sue says, coffee time. Yes. I'll take your advice. And Tuka says, I just saw it flash by because he put at OldGuyCarnivore and it came up red and caught my attention. Your channel in YouTube is still the only one where I'm a member. Tuka, that's very flattering. Thank you, my friend. And believe me, I appreciate the loyalty, and I appreciate the fact that you participate in our private community. Not to mention you're an entertaining guy. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, where was I? Aaron came in. Booby Goats this morning. Retired. Rick, how you doing? Yeah, I'm still before 8:30. You guys were crazy busy this morning. Smoothie's here. Bacon Baby, good morning to you. Tina, hiya, Tina, and everybody. Tune in Sunday morning. And Tina's going to be going to visit me. And we're going to have a nice conversation, and you'll get to meet her if you haven't already. So looking forward to that, Tina. Don't forget, I will Gmail you the link. Probably early in the morning, or maybe the night before. But if you don't get, if by 8 o'clock in the morning you haven't gotten a link from me, email me, yell at me. Rick is still being prolific. No slow. Gary, early this morning. Quack, quack, boom. Oh, I don't have a boom sound effect. I have plenty of quack, quack sound effects, but yeah, we're definitely in for the booms, that's for sure. And we're here. They're called for severe thunderstorms down here today. It may just put a quash everybody's celebrations if it's pouring down rain and lightning, but that'd be nature celebrating the 4th of July. Lori wishes 4th of July to my neighbors south of the border. Yeah. And Rick laughed at that. And we're coming up on 8:30, chatting. Why? I've never seen this much chatting going on before the bell. Talkative people. Wow, much love to type. Rick and Terry Sue and Lori and Rick again and Rick again. Terry Sue again, Bacon Baby again, Charlie, Rick again. Mama Bear, somebody new. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Denise Rigona. I can't recall seeing that name, but welcome. Happy 4th, Mitch. Same to you, Denise. That's great. If any of you are maybe people that are here because of what Curry did yesterday, I'd love to know that. So put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. And we could give you a proper welcome. Either that or just scare the hell out of you so you never come back. I try not to, but evidently there's something about me that some people just find incredibly offensive. You can't please everybody. That's one of the universal truths. Universal truths. And Jerry is with us. 8:29, Jerry Voitis. Happy Independence Day from Ponte Vedra. Talk much, Mitch? Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Wearing my today. I'm wearing my shirt that says I enjoy romantic walks through the meat aisle, the meat department. Yes. A very non-controversial shirt. Very few people will find any reason to take offense, except vegans, vegan militants, who would douse me in blood for being so evil. But that's our world. There was I, Rick, 829, Smoothie, 829, Gary. Oh my God, back on track, man. My favorite part of the morning, right after going to the gym. Yes, morning coffee with Mitch, WCWM, I guess. I never heard it expressed as an acronym before, but I like it. Good to see you, Gary. Glad you're here. And you are today's winner. Don Pardo. Tell him what he's won. Don? Sorry, Gary. Don didn't show up for work this morning. Rick is here. Retired Rick. Happy 4th. Chris Wayne from Australia. Happy 4th of July, USA. He has in one short text congratulated everybody in the United States. Thank you, Chris. Thanks so much. Do you have an equivalent holiday in Australia? I don't know if I'll see the answer in this sea of chats, but I'll try. I can ask the question though. And everybody's here at 8:30. Rick and a lady, June, Terry, Sue, Bacon, Beatty, Lori, Smoothie. Sue Middleton, good morning from Southern Oregon. Good morning, Sue. Glad to see you. And I just can't read all these. There's just too many of them. We're still at 8:30. Up, there's 8:31. The first 8:31. Terry, Sue, we are addicted to quackery. Okay. I don't know why we all get such a kick out of that, but we do. There's something about it. I always think whenever I hear anything that sounds like a quack or the word quack, I think about doctors first, but it's just me. Cordell says good morning. She's here. Thomas is with us. Hiya, Thomas. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. That's where Lori said the music sounds better with earbuds, and we have Lizzie and Joanne T. Hi, Joanne T. Happy 4th of July. And Peter's talking to Thomas, and we have a Mike Allen is with us. Happy 4th of July from Canada. You too, Mike. You too, thank you. And I still haven't gotten the definitive answer, but I assume that Canada Day is pretty much a mirror holiday in Canada. Let me know if I'm wrong. Rick said that YouTube seemed to delete the comment I left for you, Thomas. All right, I won't get into that. Laurie likes the background. Well, thank you. And I think I've settled on the flag. In fact, I really like that flag background. But for those of you that feel, just for the fun of it, for those of you that feel that maybe you're a little disoriented, I'll do that. I'll give you a minute of the coffee shop. Get your bearings. Yes, you're in the right place. Okay. Oh, and I promised you fireworks, guys. So you could have a few seconds of your fireworks because that was your favorite. So we'll leave it there for a few seconds. Go through the chat some more. And then put it back. You could tell that I love gadgets and I love to be able to do those things, just instantly change the look of your whole thing. Excuse me. Oh, don't you hate it when it goes down the wrong pipe? Holy cow. That happens sometimes when you try to sip too slowly. Melissa B says, happy 4th. Thank you. Thank you. We are all the way up to 2 minutes. I'm only 34 minutes behind already. That's all right. That's the show. And I play the rest of an hour usually trying to catch up, but I eventually, hopefully, get to everything. I may have to scream through it this morning. Now, we are over 100 viewers, so it is getting a little busier. Brenda McIntyre, don't let your meat loaf. Why? Very wise advice. Wise advice. I vacuum sealed 17 gorgeous prime ribs yesterday, and they're safely in the freezer. I'm making a video about that, so that's coming. I recorded a video of the 2025 pantry and fridge tour. It's really changed. I'm surprised that my methods and things that I keep around that I eat have changed so much since the one I did a year ago last July. But I have that coming too. And on the day that I said I needed rest to recover from the meetup and the lunch the day before, I did nothing but work my ass off, shooting videos, editing videos, and everything. So don't believe me when I say I'm going to take the day off and rest. That's your job to take the day off. That's why you come here, isn't it? Give you an excuse. Brenda McIntyre, thank you so much. Happy 4th of July, says me, Cool Cat. Thank you. Thank you, Cool Cat. Jay Budd is here this morning, and I'm going to start to accelerate a little bit. This is the area where everybody was telling me, you like this one or that one? I would have made a hell of an optometrist, I think. I have that down pat. Which looks better? This or number 2? And then they come follow it up with, okay, which looks better? Number 3 or number 4? And then the next one goes, which looks better? Number 5 or number 6? They're very careful not to use the same number twice to confuse you. And you go through that every time they try to figure out what you need, what kind of prescription you need. All right, I go through all the choices. Everybody likes the flag, number 2. As a cosmic jester, how you doing? Who else no longer needs their reading glasses? Yeah, that's very common. Very common. Maybe not at my age, but I know my prescription is not getting worse, and there's sometimes I can actually see better without my glasses, focus-wise, but I still have a prism and astigmatism, which causes me to see 2 or 3 of everything, so I need the glasses to correct that. If not for that, I probably wouldn't have to wear them. But I don't mind. I don't mind. I didn't start wearing glasses until I turned about 50 anyway. My son is now there. We're sitting across from him at the barbecue place last week, and he takes out his glasses and puts them on, and I look. I don't know where I've been. I said, I didn't know you were wearing glasses. He says, where you been? I guess I don't know. And I didn't notice it, but I sure noticed it last week. Okay, we're still chiming in. I appreciate the fact that all of you pay attention when I ask you a question. You actually do answer it for me. So, John Schaefer's here. John Schaefer is older than Old Guy Carnivore, and he's wishing us a grand 4th of July. Thank you for your service to our veterans and active military for our freedoms. Something that is forgotten way too often by the younger generation. And it's up to us old guys to keep reminding them there's a reason why you aren't speaking either Russian or Japanese now. And that's the kind of thing we're supposed to remember on these holidays. Independence Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day. And fortunately, I think we are a little bit of patriotism. Too much patriotism is no good either, but you got to love your country. We have too many America haters in this country. They hate America. All they can do is bitch about how bad it is. And that's what makes up their political party in most cases. No politics. Sorry. You know me. And Rick asks a very poignant question, is QQQ quack, quack, quack? Well, it could be. It could be. Who's to say that it isn't? Bacon baby like that. Peter wishes Marla happy birthday, and I'm being sucked in again. They're reading every word of every one of these things, and I just can't do that. I managed to get through the first 7 minutes of this stream already in the chat, so I'm going to have to start speeding up, skimming, looking for QQQs. And I can usually count on one from Tuga. How are you, boss? Well, I am great. I'm considering what I've been through. I couldn't be happier. I'm making the best I can of life and improving daily. So how can you not be bad? The alternative is to be bitter and angry and feeling sorry for myself and be making myself out to be a victim everywhere I turn. No, it's tough, but it's much more fun when you're a kind of and I know this is so cliche, but you're a glass half full guy instead of a glass half empty. I've always been that way, and I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations that have tested that attitude, and somehow it just takes a little time. Until the next thing knocks me down, I keep climbing back up, and that's life. If any of you think that the things that knock you down are going to stop coming along, and this is going to be the last time you're ever going to have to face adversity, I think you're deluding yourself, unless you are just plain lucky individual. And there are some people like that, but most of us spend our life going from one disaster to another, one worry or another, illness to another, and you want to get through it. Just accept it. This is life. This is life. Imagine what it was like when you were a caveman. They had to worry about some big animal eating them. Oh, thanks, Stuka. Thank you. Rick, you got a new name. Peter calls you the Carnivore Outlaw. I don't know about that, but we all need a name, I guess. Okay, look for questions. Lori says, "Don't forget to post your buy me a coffee link." Oh, Lori, you're a lifesaver. Thank you. Here it is. Here it is, and you know, I always appreciate it. Every little bit helps. So we'll leave that link up there. Thanks, Lori. Lori looks out for me. You're sweet, Lori. Thank you so much. We're talking about all cows are grass-fed, says Smoothie. Yes. Okay, so you're way back what I was talking about in the beginning. And Rick wants to know if alfalfa is grass. Well, I don't know where the official accepted scientific description of grass is, but there are just a ton of different things that we consider grasses. And I'm not an expert, but if you look it up, you could very easily find out if alfalfa is grass. I do is Google it, because all these things are in species and genus and everything else, and are very highly classified. I think the science of classifying these things is called taxonomy. Taxonomy. A hierarchical chart, tree. It's fascinating. It's fascinating when you look at it and trace back the origin of species. If you get a really detailed graphic of the tree of life, there are some websites where you can start at any place on the tree and try to get to any other species, because everything is connected somewhere. And it all goes back to what they call LUCA, LUCA, the last universal common ancestor, which is a single-cell organism from about 3 billion or 3.5 billion years ago. And somehow on that tree of life, we are all connected to and came from that. So it is so fascinating to see. No tree, no branch. Think of it this way. No branch on any tree can be disconnected from the tree and just hang out there in midair next to it. Nothing in life can not be connected by a describable path to what came before it. And that's science. Now, a lot of people don't believe in science. Their prerogative. Their prerogative. As long as they don't try to scam me, fool me, con me, or do anything else to make me try to believe what they believe. When I believe something else, I have no problem with them at all, because I don't try to change their mind. And they're free to preach and talk and spread their word, believe it. And I'm certainly free to talk about science. Why does there have to be so much disagreement, evil, and anger over a disagreement of the difference in beliefs of two people, which many times in this world leads to war? That's a shame. Travesty. Ask the people in Northern Ireland, for example, how they feel about it. Oh, sorry. Questions. Here I go. racing down. Right now here in Florida, the sun is shining. They're really doom and gloom about the weather, but right now it's fine. Peter's talking. Alan Landis says good day. Hey, Alan, good day to you too. Try to see if, as I'm flying by, if I don't see names that I haven't said hi to yet. Maybe potentially new people. I keep, oh God, Mitch, such a creature of habit. I got a clock right there. I put a clock right on my desk, right there. Right there. I want to know what time it is. What do? Look up at the wall clock. I've been doing that for so long, I cannot stop. The clock is right in front of you, Mitch, and it's not as accurate as that wall clock. The second hand, it's maybe, I checked this morning, it's about 10 seconds off. Who cares? I'm not doing any split-second stuff, like trying to start the stream right on the second. And I do that every morning. That's how come you guys like Gary can be so good at 8:30, is because I'm so good at getting it started exactly the right time. And you evidently know how to find out what the exact time is. Gary, it's a great observation. Great observation, man. The red dye is probably the healthiest part of the candy. I don't think you've got that wrong. And Rick appreciates the fact that I'm just not trying to sell you stuff all the time. I do point out some things that I think are good deals. And I do make some money, not much, but some from my Amazon links. And I try not to sound like Mitch's Home Shopping Club a lot, but I have to make a little money doing this, and I keep telling you I do, and I'm not trying to hide the fact from you. So if that bothers you, but I certainly don't overdo it. I don't stop these things in the middle and make you sit through 2 minutes, a 2-minute commercial for somebody that wants you to buy gold bullion or anything. I do less of it than anybody does. And I ask for a coffee now and then. Have I got any yet today? Nope. Okay. That's okay. You know, when that Buy Me a Coffee thing did well for me, it was like on my birthday, and that was great. I really thank you. It was a nice little birthday present, but takes a hell of a lot of $5 cups of coffee to add up to any real money. I spent $308 yesterday, or the other day, on ribeyes, just so I could stock. I ran out of them. It's crazy how expensive things are out there today. I feel sorry for people, but I'm right there with you. Believe me, I look at those prices. When I work for a 78-year-old guy, I work my ass off just to get by these days. I don't have a retirement other than Social Security, which sucks. There's nothing. It doesn't do anything these days. The small amount that I do get, and I gotta work. I gotta work till the day I die. Fortunately, I found something that I love to do, and I have a purpose also. But I keep saying, when people give me a hard time about being too commercial and being a hypocrite, you're in this for the money. I said, even Mother Teresa got a paycheck. Nobody's expected to work hard, contribute, maybe do some good, and do it out of the goodness of their heart, especially if they don't have an income. So I keep doing what I'm doing. I hate to ask. I wish I didn't have to. I wish it was like Kilts. But he does things for money too. But he spends 10 times more money than he will ever make on YouTube doing what he does out of the goodness of his heart. He's supporting employees now. I can't afford to do that. It'd be nice to have somebody to sit there and just sift through this chat and be able to pick out the questions, and I could say, what's the next question? And it would pop up on the screen. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I really enjoy. And while I'm talking now, I am scrolling through the chat, believe it or not, multitasking. Instead of just being quiet. Some of you are trying to tell people to click the like button. You never hear me say that. I do not ever say, click the like button and subscribe and put little animations up there, little fingers pushing. I don't do that crap. Okay, we got up to almost 9 o'clock. Still a half an hour behind. But it's okay. Let me see what's going on in the present here. Steve Studley, hi. Steve says Boyd Lamb was a credit to this community. I love Boyd. Yeah, Boyd was quite a guy, and now I'm beginning to know a lot more about Boyd because CB Carmack is just digging into. He had a YouTube channel, and while he didn't want to be in it, he was a fascinating guy. He was doing things I had no idea. He was into these hot cars with, humongous sound systems and big woofers. This guy was 67 years old. He was still working. He evidently made a good deal of money, traveled a lot, but we was very private. But CB found in one of his videos on YouTube, when he's showing off this car, a reflection of him in the car window. And he grabbed that frame, sent it to me yesterday. I'm sure you'll all see it eventually. He's probably going to send, in the Discord or pass it around. But he was not. It didn't appear that he was out of shape at all. And leave it to CB. He'll find out. Just exactly what happened to him. It could have very well been an accidental death. We don't know. He might have been perfectly healthy. It was sudden, evidently unexpected. So it might have been an accident. We don't know. I have no idea. Kathy, in the current chat, just a few seconds ago, said, question, you are content because you are doing something that has meaning, just as Viktor Frankl said in his Man's Search for Meaning. I hope I got that right. Thank you, Kathy. That's a very, very nice compliment. Very nice compliment. No slow cash. Why do we have to pay taxes on income? It's less money we have to pay. Yeah, well, that's because our politicians decided there was no income tax up until, I forget the date that it came in, but, in the early 1900s, we didn't have an income tax. Why do we have to pay property tax on our houses that we own? Why do we have to pay homeowners association dues on our subdivision? It's because there are collective expenses that everybody has to bear. So everybody has to pitch in their share. Everybody's got to pay something or there'd be no money. There is sales tax. I don't like any taxes. I'm a little disappointed that of all the promises that were made in this presidential election, the only one that is actually going to affect me at all are the tax cuts. And they cut all kinds of taxes. But when it came to the no tax on Social Security, it's not cut and dried. They came up with some convoluted thing. But if you make over this much money, just another form we're going to have to fill out on our taxes. But they claim that 80 to 90% of people on Social Security won't have to pay income tax. Well, 80% of them don't pay income tax anyway. The only time you pay income tax on Social Security is if you earn over a certain amount of money a year. And I happen to always be there, and I end up paying $2,500 in income tax on my Social Security, which I paid for all my life. It's an insurance benefit. I don't consider it income. They shouldn't consider it income either. But they keep making these convoluted formulas of who pays tax and who doesn't, and I can guarantee you that for me, because this is my history, I'll still have to pay tax when everybody else in the country doesn't. They seem to say, well, let's tailor this. So, you know, Mitch, you know, that old guy down in Florida, we got to make sure he keeps paying that tax. So let's tailor this thing so when you take out all the exemptions and amounts and thresholds and ceilings, and he just fits right there between the crack where he doesn't qualify for any tax cut. We'll see. We'll see. At first glance, I'm right on the line. We'll see. We'll see. But that was the only thing I really had, other than the general permanent income tax cut, so that we didn't all, each and every one of us, have it, if the country had gone the way of Joe Biden, Hakeem Jeffries, and those fools, we would all pay almost twice as much money next year in income tax as we did this year. And they wanted that, and they were crying about, oh my God, it's so disgusting. Politics is disgusting. I can't watch it. Every once in a while, it just pops up on your screen when you're scrolling through things, and you get one or two words of it, and that's enough to disgust you. Most of us here are relatively like-minded in that department. So I guess I'm preaching to the choir. Steve Rogers. Hey, Steve. Captain America. How you doing? Oh, I finally got up to 9 o'clock. All right. Time to run. Tuka, 3-pound little super chat. Thank you. Super sticker. Thank you, Tuka, very much. Always appreciated, my friend. Always appreciated. Oh, a coffee showed up. Let's see. I don't want to miss acknowledging these things. But see, Jerry Voitish bought me a coffee. Jerry, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But you know you're not obligated to buy me coffee every day. Happy Independence Day. You're very, very welcome, my friend. Thank you so much. Peter says, hi, fake curry. Is there somebody here trying to be fake curry? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, Rick says, hope fake curry calls in tomorrow. I'm not worried about fake curry. I can tell when the real curry comes in here. He does once in a while. And again, thank him for the major shout out yesterday. Wow, I was taken aback. It's quite a compliment. Retired Rick. He's gone, long gone now. Says going fishing. Bye, everyone. Have a good time. Catch a lot. Who is this? Beefy 707. I have the number saved. Rick, talk to you later. Want to say good morning from California. Somebody that Rick evidently knows. I've never seen him in here before. Jackie says he's a hacker or has a hacker. Yeah. Jackie, how you doing this morning? Some new names. Deborah Courier. Deb from New York. Nice to see you and happy AM. Oh, happy to see you, Deb. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, Grandma's here. Yeah, Wendy, good morning to you. And talking about ducks. And B chimed in and said hi to virtually everybody. Hi, B. How are you doing this morning? Now Ann B is saying hi to everybody individually. Wow. Here we go. Something with some cues. Okay, yes, Canada Day is April 4th. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you. Now I know for sure. Jerry, no problem to go. Okay, we were talking about last night. We are now at 9:34. So, past the hour is some QQQs. Jerry says, rumor has it, I make Dr. Kiltz look like an elf when standing next to him. Oh, yeah, Jerry, absolutely. And let's see if I can get to that immediately. Immediately here. Let's see. It would be... Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. You're a big guy, Jerry. You are like, and me too. I look the same way standing next to you, except I'm taller. I'm taller than Kiltsy. We have these other pictures in here. These are all with Kiltz. Mike Silly Sr. is a tall guy. Junior is a tall guy. But yeah, got these pictures in there from Jerry sent me. I'm probably going to try to organize them and maybe make a little presentation. Post a short video about the highlights of the meetup. But all I need is 48 hours, and every day, it's crazy how little time I actually relax. I stood on that. I used that vibration plate of mine this morning. I think that's great for your legs. I think it helps bring back or reduce the neuropathy and in the bad leg. And what I do when I stand on it, I've got it under that stand-up frame thing of mine, so something to hold on to. I actually try to do squats on the vibration plate, and I'm hoping that would be helpful while you're vibrating and be squatting at the same time. Vibrating and squatting sounds like it would be a very difficult thing to do. But I'm at it, and I do it for 5 minutes now. I don't want to overdo it because, and one thing I want to be careful of is try to always keep my knees bent on that stupid thing, because when I lock my knees, the vibration goes all the way up your body and your head shakes, and I can't be too good for my brain at this point. So I try to find ways to use the vibration plate where I'm not rattling my brain. I end up going to the hospital with shaken baby syndrome or something. And all you got to do is really bend your knees a little bit, and they act as shock absorbers. Kind of like the difference between a hardtail and a soft-tail Harley Davidson. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about and has ridden either of them knows there's an astounding difference in the quality of the ride and the effect it has on your back. So, I digress. Okay. Yeah, Terry Sue says, Kiltz is really promoting the raw meat thing. I just don't think I could ever go. No, I can't either. And I don't think he eats a lot of raw meat. It seems like people seem to, for some reason, a few people always just seem to naturally gravitate towards that. The first one I remember was that kid Joey Schwartz, Carnivore Camaraderie. If you remember him from a few years ago, he created an awful dust up when, as a teenager, he just thought he knew more than Ken Berry and everybody else, and made enemies of virtually everybody. Of all the people that were mentors to him and made him a popular YouTuber, he turned on all of them, especially Bart K. And they were starting to have online reaction video debates with each other. And this kid was eating raw chicken too, and telling everybody you're not, you can't be a carnivore if your food ever even gets warm. Well, he disappeared. He's still around, but nobody wants to put up with that shit from a know-it-all little snot like him. He was charging people. He was already put himself out there as an equivalent to Bart Kay and was charging people enormous amounts of money for consultations, and the kid doesn't know shit. Takes time to learn things in this world. I'm say kid, I mean kid. He was a smart kid, but he was a kid nonetheless. He may have had intelligence, but he had no experience. He was like a most powerful computer in the world with no database attached to it. It may be smart, but it's useless because it doesn't know anything. Well, I stopped watching him early on. I said, this kid's just pissing me off. And he lived in California too, which and was trying to go to Berkeley, and the whole thing started when there wasn't a thing he could eat in Berkeley at the cafeteria that anywhere approached anything he thought was healthy, and he made a big dust up. Then he finally said, I'm not going to college. I'm going to be a professional YouTuber now. And that was the beginning of the end of that. We get them every once in a while. We get people come in within 2 weeks. They're the world's foremost authority. They get arrogant, and it never ends well. Never ends well. Let's see. Who is this? Sky Ledge. I don't know Sky Ledge. Happy Independence Day from Canada. Sky Ledge, welcome. Welcome. Nice to see some new names in here. Steve Studley is in here. This is funny. You had to be there. We had tears. I had tears in my eyes from this one last night. Jackie was typing, voice typing, and she said, I forget the whole sentence, but she was talking about the fact that she was a carb addict. And the voice typing, Google, thought she said car battery. So up comes this big sentence where Jackie is saying, I'm a car battery. And we were laughing our asses off. It was so funny. Joey, you still don't forget that. You were right. That had to be one of the highlights of the whole evening, because the nice thing about laughing that hard, tears in your eyes rolling on the floor, is you can't be upset. You can't be unhappy. You can't even be stressed. Laughter is the best medicine. You can't be stressed, angry, when you're laughing that hard. That's why it's so great to go, instead of going to a movie about death and murder and things and aliens and things, you go see a comedian that you really think is funny. Sit there and laugh your ass off for a couple hours. Nobody leaves a comedy show feeling depressed, unless it's a really bad comedian, but that's your job to pick the good comedians. But that really was funny. That really was funny. Hey, Harry Dion is here. Hi. Good morning, Harry. Good morning, Mitch and all. Fortunately, it's a holiday. I thought I'd get a lot more attendance today, but evidently not. People just are obviously busy, going out, things to do, but that's okay. We were hovering around 100 people. Not really a numbers guy anyway. I heard my phone go ding. What happened? Did I get a coffee? I got Jory. I said thank you. That was it? Okay. Must have been some other email that made it go ding. Let's see. 9:16. Still have an hour behind. And the chat just keeps rolling. Over on my left, I can see the current chat. Thomas is here. Hi, Thomas. I said hi to you a little earlier. Wow. Oh, wow, wow. I'm going to try to finish editing my up-to-date fridge and pantry video. I added a twist to it this time. I do it and cook my breakfast at the same time. Yesterday, bacon and eggs and everything, and in between cooking the bacon and eggs, I'm doing the kitchen pantry tour. So, uh, and without the walker, I'm just walking, not the fastest, but balancing myself and everything. So it was a real three-ring circus, I got to tell you. I hope you all enjoy it. But I talk about some significant differences in the way I do carnivore now, with an emphasis on not only the food, but the easiest possible way to prepare it with the least possible amount of cleanup. And I am going to do something here one day soon and show you exactly how I can clean that air fryer after using it in minutes, effortlessly, with a few tools, cheap tools. I'll show you what they are. Jerry, see, Jerry, these things I tell you are I didn't discover them, but I've heard that after 50, 60 years of studying deep dives into evolution and how life got to be how it is today. I've been immersed in this stuff so long that these phrases like last universal common ancestor are like the basis and of reality of all things. And I've heard them so many times, they're everywhere. So it's nice to see somebody else sees it mentioned in a book that he's reading. Unfortunately, nobody is out there putting those particular books on everybody's reading list. You have to, those are deep books, usually into evolutionary biology. But it's a problem with the holiday. Half the chat is people wishing other people a happy 4th. Question: how tall are you? I'm 5'10", maybe 5'9 3/4, depending on whether my spine is compressed or shrunk. When I use my orthopod and hang upside down, I know I'm 5'10" or more. It varies by about a half an inch, but that's how tall I am. 5'10". Not too short and not too tall. Just right. Just right. Have you noticed an improvement in your vision? Yes, I have. I've talked about that a lot. My eye floaters are gone. I used to have all kinds of friends used to come in, and I watched them swim around. They're gone. I know that I had a cataract on my left eye that is actually shrinking. I know that without glasses, my vision is actually getting sharper. I know that I will never get macular degeneration because of this. My problem is the shape of my eyes and the muscles, not the eye itself. I have an astigmatism. That means your eye is not perfectly round, and it may have not quite as bad as a football, but it means that you need to correct forward glasses. And I have something that's more unusual than that, something called prism correction. And that is that one of my eyes sees higher than the other. And that's because the eye muscles have it tilted a little differently. There's surgery where they can correct that, but it's a risky surgery, and the odds of it coming out perfect and not making it worse aren't favorable. So I've elected to correct it with what the prism lenses, which take one eye and bend it a little so that it matches the way the other eye sees. And if I take my glasses off and I blink one eye to the other, I see the same picture, just jump up and down, up and down. Now, without glasses, my brain will bring those pictures together, but that causes a strain, causes eye strain. I never even knew I had a prism problem until I was flying a model jet airplane up in Indiana very late at night in the summer, in the fall. The days were very long where I was and where we had this jet meet. These little airplanes were going 200 miles an hour. It was almost dusk. And I had my regular, I didn't have prism correction. I had regular glasses on. And as it got to a certain darkness and my pupils opened up enough for the light that my depth of field decreased. And I was flying 2 airplanes. I could see 2, actual and distinct, one on top of the other. My both eyes were, and I said, what the hell was that? I have brain cancer? That's when I shut one eye and the other eye, and it alternated between the 2 images. And I couldn't believe it. And here I got this very expensive model turbine-powered airplane going 200 miles an hour, and I'm seeing double. So I had no problem landing it. I landed both of them. But then I found out that if I took my glasses and tilted them like this, the 2 images came together. Now I'd look awful funny with 45-degree angle on my glasses. So I went to the eye doctor. I said, what the hell is wrong? And they had never, ever, I mean, I'm in my 60s already. They had never tested me for prism correction. And I never asked for it. I didn't know what it was. And the guy said, oh, you need prism correction. Here, sit down. He says, he puts the thing on my eye and he says, tell me when the 2 things come together. And they actually, this thing adds into prism and the 2 things come together and bingo, I got a pair of glasses. One lens, you can see it if you look real close. One lens is thicker on the top than the bottom, and the other lens is the opposite. And the 2 of them meet in the middle. Well, I could probably see better than I'm seeing now if I got clear glass lenses that had prism correction, but then I had the astigmatism too. And it all works together. So the glasses I'm wearing are a compromise of correcting everything. And I see pretty good. I see pretty good. They're not real strong glasses, but that's more than you ever wanted to know about my eyes. Evelyn is here. Happy Independence Day to you too. Welcome. Welcome. Papa Carnivore is being very patriotic. Found flag emojis. Very nice. Very nice. I don't have a fireworks sound machine. I mean, you could play the scene from a war movie with all the shooting and probably have people think it was fireworks, but no, I don't. I have to, for me to add sound effects to this thing, I have to go through a certain process. I have to find the sound effects that I can use royalty-free with no copyright. Then I have to get them on my computer, and then I have to go into the maintenance program of the mixer where you program what each of those different buttons do and program it to do anything it can do. Play a sound effect, run a video. It has a bunch of different functions, and it takes some time. And right now it's working great. I hate to screw with it unless I make a mistake and do away with something that I use every day. So, but yeah, it's possible. It's possible. The other way to do it would be to just have the sound effect on a computer in a media file and just play it when I want to see it. But that's you have to find it, click on it. That takes too much time. Having the buttons here makes it a lot easier. Now I can actually use my right hand. A little while ago, I couldn't even reach the thing with my right hand. It wouldn't extend that far. Peter wonders where Spanky. Spanky was here last night, but Spanky doesn't come into to the morning. He doesn't come in to the morning chats very often. And Jackie says, so Spanky is an old gorilla who flies, who fibs. It's funny that my pet monkey's name is Spanky too. and Golf Addict, a viewer of mine, his name is Spanky. I can bring Spanky. Oh, that's still got the fireworks one. Get rid of that. Let's make it the flag. I can bring Spanky. There's Spanky. Spanky is my monkey. And I don't bring him to visit very often, but I can bring him in with me. And if you watch very closely, you'll see that he's actually alive, but takes you by surprise. Come on, Spank, move. Don't make a liar out of me. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? There he goes. Oh, man, look at him. Look at him. That's my buddy. It comes from my old drone days. At any rate, we now have 2 Spankies in our sphere of influence. How about that? Thank you. Yeah. Spanky's a good guy. Good guy. We all love him. We all love him. I'm doing it again. I'm not looking for the cues. I'm just getting dragged into your conversations. Here's a bunch of cues. Kathy, I got that one already. Yeah, I caught that one in real time. That one in real time. I'm going to run through this real fast, hang out with you guys in real time for a little bit, talk about the things that you're talking about, and see how that works. It's already 10 o'clock, but I don't care. Now I'm not even reading what it says. I'm just looking at trying to catch a Q out of the corner of my eye as I scroll through these things. I'm up to 9:48, not too far, 8 months back. Going to get to the end of it, and then I can come right here in the present with you guys and stop living in the past. That's it. I did it. Michael Pregler, AMP says Michael Pregler is the last chat that I see in there. Okay, I am caught up. I think I caught all the QQQs. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Here's a question. Mind if I get the monkey, Lori? If I pet the monkey? No, Lori, anytime. Let's see. Oh, the double entendre is not lost on me. Believe me. Laurie says, having a channel can lead to burnout pretty quickly. Be careful with your health, my friends. Yeah, you know what? How many times did I just throw up my hands and say, I don't need this crap. I don't need these morons that hate. I don't need this. There's not that much in it for me. Believe me, I never made any money on YouTube that anybody could consider worth the time and effort. You got to have a reason for doing it. Because I don't really believe in altruism. I believe that most animals have to put themselves first. And the old phrase, well, what's in it for me, is basically part of the law of the jungle. Because you live long enough and you finally learn that there's nobody else that's going to care for you as much as you need to care for yourself. Maybe your family, if you're lucky, but even they, and we all like to think that we're good and charitable and everything, but in times of anarchy, when there's no food supply anymore, we revert back to the laws of the jungle. And you see it everywhere, all the time, in crime. Everybody, my way or the highway, you eat what I want you to eat or I'll throw blood all over you. I'll sit down on the highways and block all the traffic and just ruin your day. because you're not listening to me, because I know people are twisted, most of them. And there's a few, I think, decent ones that are smart and can think. Many times in my past videos, I've said, I get up every morning and I say, do I want to continue this YouTube stuff another day? I stopped doing that this past year because I finally came to terms with what it is about this that I find a benefit in that's equal to or exceeds the benefit from making a few bucks. And when people who tell you that they're not in it for the money, they only do it because it makes them feel good, feeling good is currency too. Equal to and sometimes greater than money. The fact that you're proud of yourself is currency. So there are a lot of YouTubers, guys like Kilts, who, when it comes to money, he spends a ton of more money than he's ever going to make. I don't care if he has these courses and charges a lot for them. He's still never going to make the kind of money that he's donating to Curry and spending on salaries for Nelson and Alia. They're not working for free. Doing good is sometimes a greater reward than money. And there are people that do good. Rabbis and priests, they get great satisfaction from their work. But if they weren't making a living and couldn't afford a house and were homeless and hungry, they wouldn't be a priest or a rabbi. They're a priest or a rabbi because they have both. They get a paycheck and they have a fulfilling and satisfying job. And that's how I have to look at YouTube. Fortunately, being a clever guy and a good web designer and programmer, and having a daughter in the public relations business, I can get enough work where I'm not starving and I don't need a benefit and I don't need handouts. But I do need to make ends meet every month, and I don't want to have to work full time on the computer stuff because I don't get the same feeling of doing some good, and that to me is very important too. It's hard to explain to somebody. So yes, Lori, it's a good point. Where was it? You said, I'm down in this chat here. Lori said, having a channel can lead to burnout pretty quickly. It really can. It really can. That's why most people who start on YouTube in any space, just like people who start Carnivore, they last a few months and say, this isn't what I thought it was. Yeah. Okay, I got through the chat. I think I got the questions. I think I got all the questions. Get down to the bottom. Last one is the question from Jackie. What do you think the odds are that I've kind of stalled because of my wound healing from my breast reduction? Jackie, nobody can say. Everybody stalls. If you don't stall, that would make me wonder what's wrong with you. The human body's natural defense against starvation is to put away fat. Our subconscious minds, believe it or not, have no idea, when it comes to the programming of our physiology, have no idea there's a 7-Eleven right there on the corner where you can always find food. It still thinks believe it or not, that when it comes to regulating your physiology, not your thoughts, not your conscious mind, not what you've learned, not what you know, but the programming that's actually running the machinery is programmed to always think that there's a famine or hard times coming, and that in order for you to survive, it needs to increase the amount of fat you have on your body. So when you lose weight, the traditional way that we lose weight, according to all the experts out there, is eat less, move more. Now think about how this ancient way of thinking that's controlling all this fat storage business, think about how it reacts to that. Well, I'm eating less and less, and I'm having to work harder. So obviously, we're not doing well. We're deficit spending. Doesn't stop to think that you may be consciously eating less and moving more. Each of us knows there's less of the stuff that was today than there was yesterday, and you're working twice as hard. And based on the experience of millions of years of our ancestors, that's what happens when you fail at a hunt or the meat disappears because of any number of reasons. Climate change, geography change, whatever. You're not getting what you used to get. You have to work twice as hard to get half as much, which is basically what it means. Your body reacts in a certain way and saying, it's more important for us now to make sure we store away and don't squander all that energy that we managed to accumulate when we didn't have to work so hard and we could eat more. Think about it think about your body fat as a bank account. And think about this. This is a great analogy. You're gainfully employed. You got a big salary. You spend a lot of money. Most people do. Go on cruises. Buy fancy cars. You never use up the money. You're never worried. You never worry about the money running out because the money is coming in faster than you can spend it. And you get used to living this way. Well, the money is the food. The spending is move more. And then one day you go into work and they're hauling the CEO of the corporation off in handcuffs, and they collect your badge at the door, and you are instantly unemployed. If you don't believe that could happen, talk to people who used to work for Enron. You were instantly unemployed. You thought you had a pension, but it's gone. You still got some money in the bank, but the cold hard reality hits you. Oh shit, what are we going to do in a month from now? I got nothing coming in. What's the first thing you do? You stop spending money. You try to make what you got last as long as you possibly can. And that's what the body does with fat when it sees that the incoming nutrition is becoming very scarce. And the rate that the body spends its money, we call that metabolism. So it slows your metabolism down to try to conserve every last drop. How could you ever lose weight when the things you're doing are causing you to use less energy? When to lose weight, you need to figure out ways to burn more fat, not have your intelligent programming fight you. And the body's natural tendency is to prioritize the fat storage because All it knows about are famines and cold winters. And here you come along and you discover a great way to lose weight, the carnivore diet, or any diet that allows you to eat as much as you want, because that's the key to weight loss. The more you starve yourself, the harder it is. Just ask Adrienne Gledhill. Ask her what happens when you go on The Biggest Loser and you starve yourself and work your ass off. Your metabolism gets trashed. And a lot of times, most times, from something like that, it never recovers. It's permanently slowed down. You can't lose weight effectively when your metabolism keeps fighting back. But on a carnivore diet, it's the chemistry that causes your weight. You become a fat burner. You're eating high-calorie foods, especially the fat, but it ramps up your metabolism. It's heaven. You got that job back. You got that big paycheck again. You can start spending money again, and the body does, and it starts burning more and more, and you get healthier and healthier. And in the meantime, you're not eating so much that it doesn't constantly need to dip into the fat stores. Your insulin goes down. The fat cells say, okay, we're allowed to give up fat now. They won't do that when you're starving. You never get hungry. You get more than enough food. Half the time, you don't even think about it. It is the way we evolved to live. On any kind of weight loss program, back to that question, I take these long rabbit holes, but I hope you understand what the concepts I'm trying to talk about. When you lose weight, every time you lose 10 pounds, your body looks and says, uh-oh, we need to slow down the spending. And it stalls. That's normal. Maybe even puts on a pound back again. Weight loss is not like this. Weight loss is a downhill roller coaster. As long as the long-term trend is downhill, you're doing the right thing. But to think that you're going to be on a slope that never stops, never changes its angle, you're kidding yourself. And anybody that tells you that should be happening, you shouldn't be stalling, it gets us to do wild and crazy, stupid stunts. Well, stop eating. Well, fasting is good for a different reason, but no, you can't fast all the time. And I think every time you fast, you do pay a little price with slowing your metabolism down a little bit. Fasts, I don't believe, are supposed to be long-term. Many will argue with me, but to a caveman, a fast usually meant a short period of time without food, where they had to go out and scrounge the survival food and the carbs, but they didn't go such long periods, I think, without eating nothing. I don't know. I wasn't there. None of us were there. But when you get to a stall, it could take months to go away. I would say don't change anything. If you lost weight doing what you're doing, continue the same thing, and the stall will eventually end. Or maybe cut back just a small amount in the food you eat, but don't make major changes. Is your recent surgery the problem? I don't know your history of, Jackie, of stalls you may have had in the past, how long they hung on there, but all of us get frustrated by the fact that the scale stops moving, and we immediately assume this diet isn't working anymore, and we end up sabotaging ourselves. Oh well, eventually eat those donuts. When what's happening to us and that stall is not only perfectly normal, but absolutely predictable. So there you go. There you go. I know it took a little time, but that's a great question about stalls, something we all worry about. And eventually, like I have, you come to a permanent stall. once and for all. You call that a stall? How much thinner can I get, for God's sakes? I am at what my body thinks is the optimum weight for me. And I've been there for a year and a half now or more. My stroke and the subsequent poisoning at the hospital caused me to gain about 6 or 8 pounds, and in a short period of time. But that's quickly going away now that I'm back to my 100% carnivore, and I'll be right back to that same weight. So that's my optimal weight. That's not a stall. But sometimes it might take you a year, 2 years to lose that last 5 pounds. It's not up to us to consciously decide what we're supposed to weigh. We don't know enough for that. We tend to prioritize our appearance first and our health second. And too many people kill their health trying to achieve that appearance that society tells them is where they're supposed to be. However much fat you eat the right food, that's all you can do, all you can control. Eat the right food. We're learning more and more about what that food is. We're all on the right track. When you stop losing weight and you're within 5 or 10 pounds of your goal weight, and maybe you still got a tiny little, you can pinch an inch around your middle, don't try to get rid of that. That would be the unhealthiest thing you could do. And if maybe you don't look quite as skinny in a bikini, that's not as important, although it's the most important thing to most people. Not as important as being at an optimal weight where you do have an adequate amount of body fat on you, so that you do have a cushion in case you get sick and you need that extra energy. At any rate, that is it, and I think we got through it, and it's the 4th of July. And Jackie says, yeah, no, I still have 30, 40 to lose, but life is all good, and I'm cheating less. Well, you will never be able to get a realistic picture of what your body's doing until you stop the cheating. Because the cheating just shows a monkey wrench in the whole works. And you can't, when you're cheating, that's the only thing you can blame a stall on or weight gain. So the time is when you can stop the cheating, because I know you're probably an addict like I am, when you can stop finding excuses to eat this stuff, even though you don't want to, then see how your weight loss progresses and stalls. It's a long-term project in a world where everybody wants instant gratification. I'm sorry. Sounds great, and there is no shortage of fraudsters out there offering you that instant gratification for X amount of dollars. The most prevalent of which, I think, is the big pharma. But you want your body to do it. It took you all these years to get that out of shape. It's going to take you just as many years, probably, to get back in shape. That's how things work. CB is here. Hey, CB, how you doing? Do I still have some coffee? Yeah, got a couple sips. What time is it? 10:18? Wow, this is going to be almost 2 hours today. Wow. And it's still hot. Thank you, Francine Bourgeois, for the coffee warmer. I use it every day. About one more sip left. I'll save that for the big finish. So, where are we? Oh my God, Grace Soleil. Let's all give Mitch some more thumbs ups. Look at that. Look at that right there. Holy cow. Michael Pregler. Mom's at #1. Okay, Paul Berkey. Paul Berkey, hi, Paul. You got to read this stuff. There's one testimonial after another coming across. Jackie says, it's fun. Not a carb addict. I'm a car battery, remember? Jackie, oh, you made our night with that one. I gotta tell you, that was a funny. I was in tears. It just feels good to laugh like that. Seems like in our world, there's less and less of those times where you can just laugh your ass off. That's why I like that acronym, RFLMAO. Rolling on the floor, laughing my ass off. If you're a texter, you know that one. There have been some times in my life where something was so funny to me that not only was I laughing uncontrollably, tears coming out of my eyes, but I actually, my knees got weak and I buckled down to sit down. A few times I remember things, and it wouldn't definitely not be that funny to you, but just at the time, in the circumstance, something happened that was so funny. I almost collapsed from it. It was a great moment, and those are moments you never forget. Never forget. Okay, guys, a quack for you, a little happy music, and take a minute, say goodbye to your friends. Gonna miss you tomorrow. I have a day off tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Probably make videos. I'm going to defer to Rick Charger Mopar. You want to have fun? He's there all day. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. Get in his chat. It's pretty much the same people as here. And Rick, they found it's interesting and entertaining too. Entertaining. Kind of got a duck motif, but I do too now. I mean, we're all in that quack thing, and it's his fault. And I don't ask you why, but it's funny. We still find it funny. And Rick says, feel free to come in and go as you please. Yeah, you can watch Rick that way. You can just come in. You can just sit and watch and don't have to chat. And when you get a little like, I got something else I got to do now, take a break. But I defer. I said I need a day off, and it's going to be Saturday, so I don't have to interfere with Rick. So I look forward to that. I'll probably be watching. I'll probably say hi in the chat, but I just can't sit there and chat like Peter does. Usually it's going to be typing on a cell phone. I am the world's worst cell phone typist. I use voice chat when I can. Here's the end of the song coming up. Pop, pop, pop. Yes, sir. And that'll do it for today. Thanks so much. See you Sunday morning. Tina Schweikerath is going to be with me, 8:30 Sunday morning. Until then, I guess today, I have to give you the rest of today and all of tomorrow off. And eat meat.